Hey, uh, Pubified30 here with my Minecraft review. I'm going to be reviewing the game today, and I'll show you a couple of clips while I'll talk about it. So, yeah, this is just a short clip of me running around. It's, pretty cool. So far, the game, I've been playing it since the alpha, and, so far it has been just an awesome experience. I personally have not liked some updates, and I've enjoyed some others. I personally didn't like 1.8 beta, but so far the final version is great, and they fixed a lot of the problems that the 1.8 beta had, and this game so far is just completely awesome. There are mobs you don't want to mess with, like this wolf pack right here. They can kill you pretty fast, as seen right now. They added an experience bar that you get from killing monsters or mobs, and as that experience bar goes up, you get levels, and it doesn't really do very much, but the one thing that it does kind of do is kind of provides a score, and when you die, you lose all your experience, so it's kind of like, oh, I survived the longest and got the most amount of kills. You can say that to your friends, and it's actually a pretty cool feature. So far I have heavily enjoyed the experience this game has given you. There's a huge open world influence. There's a constantly regenerating world. There's a lot of building, and hence the name. There's a lot of mining and crafting, and it's just a really great game. And I really think that Mojang Specifications has done a great job with the game, and I have to give them a kudos because this is just a perfect experience for anybody who has a PC that can run this game, and it'll definitely be a nominee for my Game of the Year awards, alongside games like Battlefield and Skyrim. And from what I've played, there's a ton of content. Like, you can just go around and you can kill monsters at nighttime, or you can build like giant castles and stuff. And then there's the multiplayer portion, which is still kind of in testing. You have to enter an IP address that you know of and put the port in and stuff, and it's kind of annoying since you can't like just search for servers. But I got connected to my friend's server and we played a little bit, and it's really fun. So far, the multiplayer is great. There are a couple of problems with like things like redstone and stuff, and but really overall, I've enjoyed the game a lot, especially the multiplayer. We can build, me and my friend can build stuff together, and we can go on adventures and like mine and like defeat monsters, and get really angry when a creeper blows up our houses. But yeah, this game is just pure awesome. So I'm gonna start talking about the presentation of the game. First off, the menus are really easy to go through. As you can see, I'm crafting in my inventory right now. It's not too difficult to get used to the system. They don't really give you put you up like a head start, like, hey, this is how you start playing the game. They give you little tips along the way, like press I to open your inventory and stuff. But really, you're kind of left on your own to figure out the world around you. And I had to, when I first played the game, I had to use a lot of wikis and read online articles about how to play. And after you get used to the system and just everything that is Minecraft, it becomes easier and easier for you. There isn't really much of a story. It's just a really great single-player experience. There isn't really a point to the game, just kind of build. And so far, just through that, I've had a great time. As you can see, I'm just kind of harvesting wood from all these pine trees to build my house. And as you get further up and you like start mining and you find diamonds and stone, you can build like giant stone castles. You can start building iron swords from iron you've mined. There's just so many possibilities this game opens, and the huge randomly generating world as you keep moving forward is a great feature because it keeps it a brand new, fresh, explorable world with tons of hours of exploration to put in. And you can even start out View World with seeds and change the difficulty, which makes the game much more interesting. So, as you can see right here, I'm crafting and stuff. But, and crafting's a huge part of the game, as you can see here. I put down a crafting table, and then there's a ton of things you can do in the game, as I said earlier, like, as I'm seeing here, I'm planting trees. And then, they added Squint in the game, which is a nice feature, but it drains your hunger bar, which is in the bottom right corner of the screen, little tiny meat sticks that you can kind of see above my experience bar. And that's kind of a hassle and a bit annoying. And even though it is a nice feature and it adds to the realistic feel of it, I just didn't enjoy the fact that I had to constantly satisfy my hunger. But still, that aside, if you turn the difficulty down, it doesn't drain as much, or it doesn't drain at all if you have it on the lowest. And, but yeah, the beginning of the game's a little bit repetitive, I have to admit. You're just kind of harvesting wood to build your first tools, like wooden swords, wooden pickaxes, wooden spades, wooden axes in general, like wood-cutting axes. But really, after you get past the repetitive beginning, there's so much. Like, I've gone underground and have found just huge, like, underground natural caves. And I thought that was a really interesting feature to have, like, all these natural caves that are randomly generated, usually filled with ore, and sometimes you can even find dungeons, which are, like, small, like, tiny things, like rooms made out of cobblestone, where enemies spawn, and it has, 2 treasure chests in there, and you can loot those places and destroy the monster spawner. And then there's also, NPC villages, which are just kind of leftover villages, like, that are practically just a ton of wooden planks and stuff all stacked up on top of each other, and there's small wooden houses, and, small mines and crevices where they have, like, wooden fences and so on and so forth. But, if you're playing on a lower difficulty, those really don't have a very big effect, and I didn't really care too much for the NPC stuff, because that was what added recently, so I haven't really gotten a feel for that yet. But, I think, according to some sources, that you can get quests. Not sure about that, so I'm not gonna, count that towards the game at all. But, as you can see, I'm just kind of exploring this randomly generated world, squinting around, planting down trees, getting wood, and so I can build my first tools. And the game really, it changes its tone at nighttime. You start having to fight, like, constant spawning waves of monster mobs, like zombies, skeletons, spiders, and things called endermen, which are kind of like these dark, shapeless, kind of like weird looking things. But it's good fun. You get a lot of experience for it, and it provides a good challenge so that you're not just kind of sitting there building for hours. You have to defend your place against these zombies. So it's still fun when you're playing in the day and like building and stuff during the daytime. But when the sun goes down, it's a totally different story, and it turns into more of a survival game. So yeah, it's nighttime right now, and I'm kind of far away from my house, so I can't find my way back in this clip. So I'm gonna start building some tools, but this gives me time to talk about the graphics. Now, the graphics in this game are really good. It's the art style that makes it all. It's got like 16-bit textures. It may be really blocky, but that's kind of the point of the game. And the immense amount of detail that the world can give, even with just these 16-bit textures, is awesome. And it may not be the most realistic looking game, but it's one of the most creative looking video games of all time. It's just a really clever idea, and I like this a lot. And that's really all I had to say about the graphics, so let's move on to sound. You are treated with a beautiful, beautiful soundtrack. The soundtrack in this game is just awesome. As you can see, I'm eating using the food system. and there's a spider right there. That's an enemy, or one of the enemies. And I'm trying to get up my hunger bar. But anyways, the sound is beautiful. As you can hear, there's great sound effects. Not to mention, the awesome music. I love the piano done by, I think it's a band called C418. Sorry if I said that wrong, or if I have the wrong name, but it's something like that. And they specialize in just kind of like piano, like, kind of like calming music, and I like it. And there's a lot of sound effects fitting to like when you're in a cave, like dripping water and stuff. And this is one of the holy crap, that's a creeper. Which is another mob. So far, from what I have heard, and I've been playing this game since mid-2010, the soundtrack is just completely awesome. Everything about it is great. It sounds great. It's just every song fits a moment, and it's just beautiful. And this is definitely a nominee for my best music and sound award for this year. And okay, now this gives me time to go on to the gameplay. So, as you can see from all this playing, this game has really immense gameplay. There are a couple of odd features and weird, like, unexpected glitches, like blowing up TNT and seeing like a little white block floating around. I don't know if those are still in the final version, so I'm not gonna count it. But from what I know, this game's really nice. I personally don't like the hunger bar. It kind of takes away from the experience, but I know that some of my friends do, so I'm not gonna kind of count the game in the game's final score. But for what the game is, there's a ton of crafting. There's tons of crafting recipes. You're gonna have to look them all up. As you can see, I'm just kind of fiddling around with this crafting table right now, kind of building tools. And I think I might go out and kill. There's a spider across the island, and a zombie. Ooh, a zombie too. And I guess I'm gonna have to go take these guys out because they're pretty darn close to my house. But this game, it's got really great. It's just got really great crafting, fun mining, huge randomly generated world. The main problem I have with this game is that the combat's really clunky. I've watched my friend on multiplayer fight a spider in third person, and since I'm looking at him in third person, it looks really clunky. He practically just kind of looks like he's like hitting things over the head with the sword, and it looks really weird. But really, I'm not into animation for this factor. But even in first person, combat kind of feels clunky. It's more like hit, step back, hit, step back, and there's nothing really interesting. And they added a blocking feature, and you can now charge up your bow, which is a nice feature. But really, overall, I'm trying to build a bow here, but I forgot. It's schematic, so I'm just kind of messing around, and I don't have enough string, turns out. But the gameplay's really detailed, and while it does have a few flaws and a couple of clunky problems, this game is just awesome. It may not be like the most realistic contender, but for a building game of its kind, it's got so much detail, and it's just so awesome. So it's got really good gameplay. For the lasting appeal, I'd like to say that this game can last you forever. This is very few games that I can say can last you forever. Most games kind of stumble back on their time. But there's really, with the randomly generating worlds, the fun multiplayer, all these multiplayer servers out here, all of this immensely randomly generating world, mining, the updates that can add more and more things, there's nowhere really that you can go wrong with this game. There's just so much content. And knowing Mahjong specifications, director Notch, or Marcus Persson, I'm sorry if I said that wrong, I'm not very good with last names, but he likes to add more and more and more and more to the game. So without a doubt, I think that there's going to be an update or two in there. And really overall, this is a grade A game. I love this game. It's kind of almost feels like a classic to me after all these years of playing it. And the final version fixes all of my hatreds with the game, except for the hunger bar, but of course that's a personal preference. But, yeah, this is a great game. If you have the money, go out and buy it. It is, totally worth your money. I think it's only like $21 or something like that. And on top of that, you get this giant experience that is a ton of fun, with a constantly growing community. I think that you could talk to anybody and they know what Minecraft is. I'm not even kidding there. But, yeah, this game's great. So, yeah, Minecraft, an amazing game. It definitely is a contender for my game of the year, and it is a contender for a lot of areas like art style, sound, and other things along the way, gameplay. Also, best single player experience, best PC game. It's definitely up for a nominee for those slots. So, yep, great game. And without a doubt, this is something that you should purchase if you own a PC that's powerful enough to play this game. So, yeah, Pup signing out. Have a great day in the world of Minecraft.